Most people think they can just do endless squats to shrink their thighs or countless crunches to melt away belly fat, but here's the harsh reality. It doesn't work that way, and I'm about to tell you exactly why, plus the one thing that actually does work. But before we dive in, let me guess. You've probably tried everything. Those 5-minute AB workouts that promise to transform your core. Maybe you even bought one of those overpriced waist trainers thinking it would magically sculpt your midsection. Or perhaps you've done so many leg raises your hip flexors are screaming at you right now. And yet, that stubborn fat is still there, mocking you every time you look in the mirror. Well, stick around because today I'm going to explain the real science behind why this happens and give you the actual solution that works, even though you're not going to like it. The spot reduction myth. Let's start with the elephant in the room, spot reduction. That's the belief that you can burn fat from a specific area by exercising that muscle. And I'm here to tell you, it's complete nonsense. Here's what's actually happening in your body when you exercise. When you do those crunches, your abdominal muscles are working, they're contracting, they're getting stronger. But the fat that's sitting on top of those muscles, it's not going anywhere special just because the muscle underneath is active. Your body burns fat systematically, which means it's pulling energy from fat stores all over your body simultaneously. You can't have a conversation with your body and say, hey, just burn the fat from my arms today, or focus on my love handles this workout. It doesn't work like that. Think of fat loss like emptying a swimming pool with multiple drains. You can't choose which drain opens first, they all drain proportionally. Your body works the same way with fat stores. Now, there is some very recent research suggesting that under very specific conditions, there might be minimal localized fat loss, but we're talking about such tiny amounts that it's essentially meaningless for practical purposes. The effect is so small that you'd never notice it visually. The reason this myth persists is because of something called confirmation bias. When people do AB exercises and eventually see their abs, they think it was because of all those crunches. But what really happened was they lost fat from their entire body, and eventually, enough came off their midsection to reveal the muscle underneath. The genetics factor. Now here's where things get really frustrating. Genetics. This is why some people seem to effortlessly have flat stomachs, while others struggle with belly fat even when they're not overweight. We all store fat differently based on our DNA, and science has proven this. Your genetic code determines where you preferentially store fat, and unfortunately, you can't change your genetics no matter how many supplements you take or how many fat-burning workouts you do. For most men, the genetic curse is visceral fat, that deep belly fat, and those love handles that seem to appear overnight and refuse to leave. This isn't just about appearance either. This type of fat storage pattern actually increases health risks, like cardiovascular disease. For women, the genetic pattern is typically different. Most women store fat in their lower body, the hips, thighs, and that stubborn area right under the glutes that drives everyone absolutely crazy. Interestingly, this pattern actually provides some protection against cardiovascular disease, but I know that doesn't make you feel better about how your genes fit. And then there's the universal problem area that affects everyone regardless of gender, face and neck fat. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That double chin that shows up in photos, the puffy cheeks, the thick neck that makes you avoid certain camera angles. Some people are genetically wired to store more fat in these areas even when they're at a healthy weight. It's not because they're doing anything wrong. It's literally just how they're built. By this point, you probably know exactly which area is your biggest genetic challenge. Maybe you're nodding along thinking about your stubborn lower belly, or those outer thighs, or that back fat that makes certain shirts unwearable. The bad news is that you can't change your genetics. The good news? There is still a solution. Here's the solution you're not going to like, but it's the only one that actually works. You need to get into a calorie deficit and stay there consistently. That's it. No magic tricks, no special exercises, no secret supplements, just consistent calorie deficit over time. But here's the part that makes people quit. That problematic area you hate the most, it's going to be the last place you lose fat from. I'll say that again because this is crucial. Your biggest problem area will be your most stubborn area. Think about it logically. If your body loves storing fat in your belly because of your genetics, that's also going to be the place it's most reluctant to give it up from. Your body holds on to fat in your preferred storage areas like a security blanket. So what happens during your fat loss journey? You might lose fat from your face first, making your cheekbones more defined. You might lose it from your arms, making them look more toned. Maybe your legs start to lean out, or your back fat disappears. And you'll think, this isn't working, I'm just getting smaller everywhere except where I want to. This is exactly why most people quit their diets. They don't see changes in their problem area fast enough, so they throw in the towel thinking the process isn't working. But here's what they don't realize. They were probably just getting started. It's like digging for treasure. You know there's gold buried deep underground, but you have to dig through all the dirt and rocks first. All the good stuff, the real transformation, is buried deepest. You can't give up when you're halfway down and expect to find the treasure. You have to keep digging until you hit the mother lode. The timeline varies for everyone based on genetics, how much fat they need to lose, and where they're starting from. But for most people, seeing significant changes in their problem area takes months, not weeks. This requires a fundamental shift in mindset from seeking quick fixes to embracing the long game. What you can do, while you wait now, while you're staying consistent with your calorie deficit and playing the patience game, there is one thing you can do to help speed up the visual results. Train that problem area, but not for the reason you think. You're not training that area to burn fat faster from that spot. We've already established that doesn't work. You're training it to build muscle underneath the fat, which will improve how that area looks as you lose weight overall. If your belly is your problem area, start doing core work consistently. Will it burn belly fat faster? Absolutely not. But will it make your midsection look better as you lose weight? 100%. You'll have better posture, your waist will appear more defined sooner, and when you finally do lose that stubborn belly fat, you'll have impressive abs waiting underneath. Same principle applies to every other area. If your thighs are your trouble spot, start squatting, lunging, and doing other leg exercises. You won't lose thigh fat any faster, but at least they won't look soft and undefined as the weight comes off. Instead, they'll look toned and shapely. This is also important for another reason. Muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat tissue. So while you're building muscle in your problem areas, you're actually increasing your metabolic rate slightly, which can help with the overall fat loss process. But here's a critical point. Don't use this as an excuse to avoid other exercises. You still need full body strength training and cardiovascular exercise for optimal health and the most efficient fat loss. The targeted work for your problem area is just the cherry on top. Managing expectations and mindset. Let's talk about the mental game, because this is where most people really struggle. Fat loss, especially from stubborn areas, requires a fundamental shift in how you think about progress and timelines. First, you need to redefine what success looks like. Instead of only measuring success by changes in your problem area, start celebrating all the other improvements. Better energy levels, improved strength, clothes fitting better in other areas, better sleep, improved mood, and better overall health markers. Second, understand that progress isn't linear. You might lose fat quickly at first, then hit plateaus where nothing seems to be happening for weeks. This is completely normal and doesn't mean you should change your approach every time progress slows down. Third, take progress photos and measurements regularly. Not just of your problem area, but of your entire body. Sometimes the changes are so gradual that you don't notice them in the mirror, but they become obvious when you compare photos from months apart. Fourth, focus on the process rather than just the outcome. Are you consistently hitting your calorie deficit? Are you strength training regularly? Are you getting adequate sleep and managing stress? If you're checking these boxes, the results will come eventually. Remember, the people you see with impressive physiques didn't get there overnight, and they probably went through the same frustrating process you're experiencing now. The difference is they didn't quit when progress felt slow. The action plan. So here's your complete action plan. First, create a sustainable calorie deficit through a combination of diet and exercise. This doesn't mean crash dieting or extreme restrictions that you can't maintain long-term. Second, implement a well-rounded exercise program that includes both cardiovascular exercise and strength training for your entire body, with some extra focus on your problem areas for muscle building. Third, be patient and trust the process. Your problem area will be stubborn, but if you stay consistent long enough, you will see results. There's no timeline I can give you because everyone is different, but think months, not weeks. Fourth, track your progress through multiple methods: photos, measurements, how clothes fit, strength improvements, and energy levels. Not just what you see in the mirror each day. Manage your expectations and focus on building sustainable habits rather than seeking quick fixes. Stop looking for magic solutions and start putting in the real work that gets real results. Yes, it's harder than those clickbait "lose belly fat in 7 days" articles, but it's also the only approach that actually works long-term. Your problem area might be stubborn, but it's not impossible to change. Every person who has successfully transformed their body had to go through this same process of patience and consistency. If this video opened your eyes to the truth about fat loss, smash that like button and subscribe to How to Be Fit for more no-nonsense fitness advice. Drop a comment below and tell me what your most stubborn problem area is. I read every single one and I'd love to hear about your journey. And if you're ready to create a sustainable diet plan that actually works for the long term, check out the link in my description. Let's stop chasing quick fixes and start building lasting results together.